Quick like and subscribe if you enjoy my content. My name is Nathan. I'm 38 years old, and I work as a senior project manager for a tech consulting firm in Austin, Texas. For the past 3 months, my wife Lauren had been acting strange. Not distant exactly, just different. Secretive. She'd close her laptop when I walked into the room. She'd take phone calls in the garage. She'd smile at her screen, and then quickly lock it when she noticed me watching. I asked her about it once. "Everything okay?" "Perfect," she said, kissing my cheek. "Just planning something special. You'll see, my birthday was coming up. I'm not big on celebrations. Never have been. I'd rather have a quiet dinner at home than a party with dozens of people pretending to care about me, getting another year older." But Lauren loved parties, loved being the center of attention, loved orchestrating events, loved the performance of it all. So when she started acting secretive in early September, I assumed she was planning some elaborate birthday surprise. I didn't think much of it. I figured I'd smile, act grateful, blow out some candles, and move on with my life. I was wrong about what she was planning. The first crack in my assumption came on a Tuesday night in late September. I came home from work around 7. Lauren's car was in the driveway, but the house was quiet. I walked through the kitchen, noticed her phone sitting on the counter. The screen was dark, but as I passed it, a notification lit up the display. A text message from someone named Chris. "Can't wait to see you tomorrow. Same place, same time." I stopped, stared at the screen. The message disappeared after a few seconds, but it had already burned itself into my brain. Same place, same time. That's not how you talk to a party planner. That's not how you talk to a caterer or a decorator. That's how you talk to someone you're meeting in secret. I didn't touch her phone. I didn't confront her. I just stood there in the kitchen, feeling something cold settle in my chest. Then I heard the shower turn off upstairs. I walked to the living room, sat down, and turned on the television like nothing had happened. Lauren came down 20 minutes later, hair wet, wearing yoga pants and one of my old college sweatshirts. She smiled at me. "Hey, babe. How was work?" "Fine," I said. "How was your day?" "Good. Busy. I had lunch with Melissa and then ran some errands." She sat down next to me, curled into my side. "What do you want for dinner?" "Whatever you want." We ordered Thai food. We ate on the couch. We watched a cooking show neither of us cared about. And the whole time, I kept thinking about that text message. Chris. Same place, same time. I didn't sleep well that night. I kept replaying the message in my head, trying to find an innocent explanation. Maybe Chris was a party planner. Maybe same place, same time, referred to a venue walkthrough. Maybe I was being paranoid, but my gut told me otherwise. The next morning, I did something I'd never done before. I checked our cell phone account online. We were on a family plan, which meant I could see call logs and text records for both our numbers. I logged in during my lunch break, pulled up Lauren's activity, and started scrolling. Chris's number appeared frequently. Multiple calls per day, some lasting 20 or 30 minutes. Dozens of text messages. I couldn't see the content of the text through the phone company's portal, but I could see the volume. And the volume told a story. I went back further. The calls to Chris started 3 months ago. Right around the time Lauren started acting secretive. Right around the time she said she was planning something special. I sat in my car in the parking lot outside my office and stared at the screen. 3 months. That's not party planning. That's something else entirely. I called my brother that afternoon. Kevin's a family law attorney in Houston. We're not particularly close, haven't been since our parents died, but I trusted him more than anyone else I knew. "I think Lauren's cheating on me," I said without preamble. There was a long pause on the other end. "What makes you think that?" I told him about the text message, about the phone records, about the way she'd been acting. He listened without interrupting, which I appreciated. When I finished, he was quiet for a moment. "Nathan, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest. Do you want to save this marriage?" I thought about it, really thought about it. Lauren and I have been married for 6 years. We'd been together for 8. We'd built a life together, bought a house, talked about having kids someday. But over the past year, maybe longer, something had shifted. She'd become more critical, more impatient. She'd stopped asking about my day. She'd stopped laughing at my jokes. We'd stopped having sex with any regularity. I noticed all of it, but I'd explained it away. Work stress, getting older, the natural evolution of a long-term relationship. Now I was wondering if the real explanation was simpler. She'd checked out. She'd found someone else. And she'd been lying to me for 3 months while planning whatever this was. No, I said finally. I don't think I do. Then you need evidence, Kevin said. Good evidence. Before you confront her, before you do anything, you need to know exactly what you're dealing with. Hire a private investigator. Get photos, get documentation. Texas is a no-fault divorce state, but if you can prove infidelity, it'll help with asset division. How do I find a PI? I'll send you a name. Guy I've worked with before. He's discreet, thorough, and he won't rip you off. The investigator's name was Marcus Webb. I met him at a coffee shop near my office 2 days later. He was in his early 50s, former police detective, now worked private cases. He had the kind of face that didn't stand out in a crowd, which I supposed was useful in his line of work. I showed him the text message screenshot I'd taken, showed him the call logs, told him about Lauren's behavior. He took notes, asked questions, didn't waste time. How long do you want me on this? He asked. However long it takes. I want to know who Chris is, where they're meeting, and what they're doing. You sure you want to know? I met his eyes. I'm sure. Okay, I'll start tomorrow. I'll send you updates every few days. Don't change your behavior at home. Act normal. If she suspects you know something, she'll get careful. I paid his retainer. We shook hands, and I drove home to my wife, who kissed me at the door and asked what I wanted for dinner like she hadn't been lying to my face for 3 months. Marcus sent his first update 4 days later. A text message with 3 attached photos. The first photo showed Lauren getting into her car outside our house at 10:47 a.m. The second showed her pulling into a parking lot at a hotel off Interstate 35. The third showed her walking into the hotel lobby with a man I'd never seen before. Tall, fit, probably mid-30s. He had his hand on the small of her back. My stomach turned over. I was sitting in a conference room at work when I opened those photos. I excused myself, walked to the bathroom, and locked myself in a stall. I didn't cry. I didn't punch the wall. I just sat there, breathing slowly, waiting for the nausea to pass. Marcus called me an hour later. You see the photos? Yeah. There's more. They were in there for 3 hours. Left separately. She went to a grocery store after, then went home. This is the 3rd time this week they've met at that hotel. Always midday, always a few hours. Who is he? His name is Christopher Dane. Goes by Chris. He's a personal trainer at the gym where your wife has a membership. I pulled his social media. Single, no kids, lives in an apartment downtown. A personal trainer. Of course. Lauren had joined that gym 6 months ago, said she wanted to get in shape. I'd encouraged it, thought it was good for her. Turns out she was getting a different kind of workout than I'd imagined. What do you want me to do? Marcus asked. Keep following her. I want dates, times, locations. Everything documented. You got it. Over the next 2 weeks, Marcus sent me regular updates. Lauren was meeting Chris 3 times a week, always at the same hotel, always for 2 to 3 hours. On the weeks she wasn't at the hotel, she was at his apartment. Marcus had photos of her entering and leaving. Photos of them kissing in parking lots. Photos of them having lunch at restaurants across town where no one we knew would see them. The evidence was overwhelming, undeniable. And every new photo felt like another nail in a coffin I was building for a marriage that was already dead. But here's the thing. While Marcus was gathering evidence, I was also noticing something else. Lauren's behavior at home hadn't changed. She was still secretive, still taking calls in the garage, still smiling at her phone. But she was also being unusually nice to me, making my favorite meals, asking about my work, initiating sex more frequently than she had in months. At first, I thought it was guilt, but then I realized it was something else. She was planning something. She'd mentioned my birthday at least a dozen times in the past few weeks. Just 3 more weeks until the big day, she'd say, or, I think you're really going to love what I have planned. I played along, smiled, acted curious, told her I appreciated whatever she was doing. And the whole time, I was planning something too. My birthday was on October 19th, a Saturday. Lauren had told me to keep the evening free, that she had something special planned. She'd been giddy about it for days, practically bouncing with excitement. On October 15th, 4 days before my birthday, I met with Kevin in his office in Houston. I made the drive after work, told Lauren I had a late meeting with a client. Kevin had drafted divorce papers based on the evidence Marcus had collected. We went through them line by line. "You're sure about this?" Kevin asked when we finished. "I'm sure. She's going to be blindsided. She blindsided me first." He nodded slowly. "Okay, I'll file these on Monday morning. You'll be officially served by Tuesday. I want to serve her myself." Kevin raised an eyebrow. "That's not typical." "I don't care. She's planning some big birthday surprise for me. I want to give her one back." "Nathan, I'm not going to make a scene. I'm not going to humiliate her. I just want to hand her the papers myself. Can you arrange that?" He studied me for a long moment. Then he sighed. "Yeah, I can arrange that." I drove home that night feeling something I hadn't felt in weeks. Not happiness exactly, but clarity. Purpose. I knew exactly what I was doing and why I was doing it. And for the first time since I'd seen that text message from Chris, I felt like I was in control. The days leading up to my birthday were surreal. Lauren was in full party planning mode. She was on her phone constantly, texting people, making calls, coordinating details. She told me she'd invited some friends, some colleagues, a few neighbors. "Nothing huge," she said. "Just the people who matter." I wondered if Chris would be there, if she was planning to introduce me to her boyfriend at my own birthday party. The thought would have been funny if it wasn't so pathetic. On Friday night, the day before my birthday, Lauren sat down next to me on the couch. "So, tomorrow night, we're going to dinner first. Just the two of us. I made reservations at that Italian place you love. Then, after dinner, we'll head over to the venue for the party." "What venue?" She smiled. "You'll see." I smiled back. "Sound great. I'm really excited, Nathan. I think you're going to love it." "I'm sure I will." She leaned in and kissed me. It was soft, lingering. When she pulled back, her eyes were bright. "I love you. I love you too," I said. And in that moment, I meant it. Not the present tense love of a husband for his wife, but the past tense love of someone mourning what used to be. Saturday arrived. I woke up to Lauren singing "Happy Birthday" and carrying a tray of pancakes and coffee into the bedroom. She put a little candle in the pancakes, and she made me blow it out while she recorded on her phone. "Make a wish," she said. "I wish for this day to be over." We spent the morning doing nothing in particular. Lauren was buzzing with nervous energy, checking her phone constantly, making last-minute calls. I pretended not to notice. At 4 o'clock, she told me to start getting ready for dinner. I showered, dressed in slacks and a button-down shirt. When I came downstairs, Lauren was wearing a black dress I'd never seen before. She looked beautiful. That made it worse somehow. "You look great," I said. "So do you." She grabbed her purse and keys. "Ready, ready." We drove to the Italian restaurant in her car. She was chatty the whole way, talking about the food, the party, how excited she was for me to see what she'd planned. I nodded, responded when appropriate, and kept my hands steady on my knees. Dinner was good. The food was excellent, the service was attentive, and Lauren was more affectionate than she'd been in months. She held my hand across the table. She laughed at my stories. She told me how proud she was of me, how lucky she felt to be my wife. I wondered if Chris knew she was having dinner with me tonight. I wondered if she'd texted him before we left the house. I wondered if he'd be at the party later, watching from the crowd while she played the role of devoted wife. When the check came, Lauren paid. "My treat," she said. "It's your birthday." "Thank you." "Okay." She glanced at her phone. "We should get going. The party starts at 7. We got back in the car. She drove through downtown Austin, then turned onto a side street I didn't recognize. We pulled into a parking lot behind a small event venue. There were already a dozen cars there. "This is it," Lauren said, smiling. "You ready?" "Ready." We walked to the entrance. Lauren squeezed my hand. "Happy birthday, Nathan." She opened the door. The room inside was decorated with streamers and balloons. There was a banner that said, "Happy Birthday, Nathan," stretched across one wall. Tables were set up with food and drinks. And standing in the center of the room were about 30 people. Friends, coworkers, neighbors. They all turned when we walked in and shouted, "Surprise!" I smiled. I hugged people. I shook hands. I thanked everyone for coming. And the whole time I was scanning the crowd, looking for Chris. He wasn't there. That was almost disappointing. Lauren stayed by my side, beaming, accepting compliments about the party, about how well she'd pulled off the surprise. She introduced me to a few people I didn't know, friends of hers from the gym. I wondered if any of them knew about Chris. I wondered if they were in on the secret. About 30 minutes into the party, Lauren pulled me aside. I have one more surprise for you. Oh, she reached into her purse and pulled out an envelope. Open it. I took the envelope, opened it carefully. Inside was a brochure for a resort in Cabo San Lucas. I booked us a trip, she said. 2 weeks in Mexico, leaving next month. Just the two of us. I thought we could use some time away. I stared at the brochure. 2 weeks in Cabo, with a wife who'd been cheating on me for 3 months. The audacity of it was almost impressive. Wow, I said, that's really thoughtful. I knew you'd love it. She kissed my cheek. I'm going to go check on the cake. I'll be right back. She walked away. I stood there holding the brochure, feeling nothing. My brother Kevin had driven up from Houston for the party. I found him near the bar, nursing a beer. He saw my face and raised an eyebrow. You okay? She booked us a trip to Mexico. Jesus. I need to do this now. You sure? I nodded. Where are the papers? In my car. Go get them. He set down his beer and walked out. I stayed where I was, watching Lauren across the room. She was talking to a group of her friends, laughing, gesturing animatedly. She looked happy. She looked like a woman who had everything figured out. Kevin came back 5 minutes later with a manila envelope. He handed it to me without a word. I walked over to where Lauren was standing. She turned when she saw me, still smiling. Hey, I was just telling everyone about Cabo. They're so jealous. Lauren, can I talk to you for a second? Alone. Her smile faltered slightly. Sure. Is everything okay? Just need a minute. We walked to a quieter corner of the room, away from the crowd. She looked at me with concern. Nathan, what's wrong? Are you not feeling well? I handed her the envelope. Happy birthday to me. She took it confused. What is this? Open it. She opened the envelope, pulled out the papers. I watched her face as she read the first page. Watched the confusion turn to shock, then to something that looked like panic. What is this? Her voice was barely a whisper. Divorce papers. I'm filing on Monday. Her hands started shaking. Nathan, I don't understand. Why would you? Christopher Dane, personal trainer. You've been meeting him at a hotel off I-35 3 times a week for the past 3 months. Also at his apartment downtown. I have photos, Lauren. Dates, times, locations. All of it documented. The color drained from her face. She opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again. How did you? I hired a private investigator. He's been following you for 2 weeks. Nathan, please, let me explain. There's nothing to explain. You've been cheating on me. For months. While planning this party. While booking trips to Mexico. While telling me how much you love me. You've been lying to my face every single day. Tears started streaming down her cheeks. It was a mistake. I was going to end it. I swear, I was going to end it before the trip. Chris doesn't mean anything. It's you I love. If you loved me, you wouldn't have slept with someone else for 3 months. Nathan, please. We can fix this. We can go to counseling. I'll cut off all contact with him. I'll do whatever it takes. I looked at her, this woman I'd been married to for 6 years, and felt nothing but exhaustion. Lauren, I don't want to fix this. I don't want counseling. I want a divorce. But the party, the trip, everything I planned, was built on a lie. All of it. She grabbed my arm. Nathan, please. Don't do this. Not here. Not in front of everyone. I gently removed her hand. You chose the venue. I'm just delivering the message. I walked away. Walked back to Kevin, who was standing near the exit. Let's go. You okay? I will be. We left the party. Left Lauren standing there with divorce papers in her hands and 30 people watching her fall apart. I got in Kevin's car, and he drove me back to his place in Houston. I didn't look back. Lauren called me 47 times that night. I didn't answer. She sent texts, long paragraphs full of apologies and promises and desperate pleas. I read them once, then turned off my phone. Kevin let me stay in his guest room. I lay there in the dark, staring at the ceiling, feeling lighter than I had in months. The marriage was over. The pretending was over. And tomorrow, I'd start building something new. Something honest. The next morning, Kevin made breakfast. We sat at his kitchen table, drinking coffee, not saying much. Finally, he asked, any regrets? I thought about it. About Lauren, about the party, about the look on her face when she opened that envelope. No, I said, not one. She's going to fight this. Let her. I have evidence. I have documentation. She doesn't have a leg to stand on. Kevin nodded. I'll file the papers tomorrow morning. You should stay here for a few days. Give her time to cool down, figure out where she's going to stay. The house is in both our names. Doesn't matter. You need space. Trust me. I stayed with Kevin for a week. During that time, Lauren tried everything. She called, she texted, she showed up at my office. Security escorted her out. She sent mutual friends to plead her case. I told them all the same thing. It was over, and there was nothing left to discuss. The evidence Marcus had collected made the divorce proceedings straightforward. Lauren's attorney tried to argue for a larger share of our assets, but Kevin shut that down quickly. Infidelity wasn't grounds for financial punishment in Texas, but it did give us leverage in negotiations. Lauren signed the papers 6 weeks after my birthday. We split everything down the middle: the house, the savings, the retirement accounts. She got to keep her car, her clothes, her jewelry. I got to keep my dignity. The divorce was finalized 2 months later. I moved into an apartment downtown, started going to the gym, a different one, and focused on work. I didn't date anyone for a year. I needed time to decompress, to figure out who I was outside of that marriage. I heard through mutual friends that Lauren and Chris broke up shortly after the divorce. Apparently, he wasn't interested in anything serious, and Lauren had been hoping he'd step up and fill the role I'd left vacant. When he didn't, she tried to reach out to me. I didn't respond. 2 years after that birthday party, I'm doing well. I got promoted at work. I bought a condo. I started dating again. Nothing serious, just enjoying life. I ran into Lauren once at a grocery store. She looked smaller somehow, less confident. She tried to make small talk. I was polite, but brief. When she asked if we could get coffee sometime, I said no. Some doors, once closed, should stay closed. People ask me sometimes if I regret how I handled it, if I should have done it differently, more privately, with more compassion. My answer is always the same. She had 3 months to show me compassion. 3 months to be honest. 3 months to end things with dignity. Instead, she threw me a birthday party and booked a trip to Mexico while sleeping with another man. She made her choices. I made mine. And I make the same choice again. The birthday party was supposed to be a surprise. It was, just not the way she planned. I got exactly what I wanted that night: freedom, clarity, and the beginning of a life built on honesty instead of lies. Sometimes the best gift you can give yourself is knowing when to walk away. And I walked away with my head up and my conscience clear. That's all the surprise I ever needed.